by the way, before I start, I don't know if you guys know that Stephen and Emily, they're going to be serving with Pastor Bill Campbell in London in August. They'll be away for about 2 weeks, and they're looking to raise about $3,000. They're going to put $3,000 together. It's going to cover airfare, it's going to cover some lodging. So for those of you, if you could, there are 3 ways to read the announcement, how you can prayerfully support them. So the men's group, there are about 10 of us. There are 11, including Stephen. And here's what the men's group are doing, just to share with you. We put together $100 each man, so we put together $1,000 for Stephen alone. These don't include Emily. So the challenge for Stephen was, I got an email from Stephen, says, Stephen goes to me, if someone wants to put up $500, I'm going to run as much as I can for London. So I took that up, I said, no, let me prayerfully think about it. So I was really prayerful. I did all my calculations, and I figured 16 weeks, from about April to end of July, about 16 weeks. And if Stephen runs 20 miles a week, that's 320 miles. I mean, I could do it. I know I could do it. I've done it because I know the calculations. So I said, okay, let's do it. So the men got together, email. So please pray for Stephen. Please pray that he could accomplish this. He's going to run 320 miles before he leaves. And when he accomplishes that, and he will accomplish that by the Lord's will, and we give God all the honor and glory, then we are prepared to give him $1,000. I tell you why this is important. This is not the financial. It's not really the financial part. The financial part is cool. When we do our part, it's really the mental part. And the mental part that I think Steve's going to have a great time is each week. He's going to say, I got to log in 20 miles. Man, each week's going to be rough. Each week might be tough. But that's when he's going to draw closer to the Lord. And that's what we desire for Stephen. That's what we desire for Emily as well, too. So my challenge to my sisters, for our Associate Minister Emily, for the ladies, for the women's group, please think about how you can spur on and encourage Emily to run for the Lord. Are we all cool? Cool. All right. You know, when I was young, you know what really fascinated me? You guys know what this is? It's like a magnet. Who loves magnets when you were a kid? Who had a great time with it? Yeah, look at all the smiles. I had a wonderful time. No, people would say, wow, what is this thing? What is this little piece of dinghy? And then all of a sudden you can see that, like, do you think I can pick up a, who do you think? Can I pick this up? Paperclip. Watch, let's see. Oh man, that's not lying. That is so cool. Man, that was so cool. How about this? Do you think this magnet will work with this? Come on. No. How about this? Who thinks it'll work with a stapler? Raise your hand. Watch. Okay. Cool. Yes or no? No. You guys know you guys are smart. Yes or no? Not sure, right? Plastic. Gold-plated, 24 karat. Let's see. Not working. How about another magnet? A magnet. Who do you think is going to work? Is it going to work?
No. Yeah.
Ooh, it worked. Watch this again. Magnet. Watch carefully. Whoa! Yes! That was so cool. I want someone that's really strong come up. Who's really strong? No, John, please stay. What? Stay. What are the ladies, right? Come on, give up for one of the ladies. Put your hands together.
Yeah.
Come on, what are the ladies? Strong ladies, who are working out?
Sarah.
Like, no, she's never rich. I had her run the one time up there. Come on, give me one Warriors.
Yeah.
When has been working out? No, give me one of the Warriors. Ladies, come on.
Sophia.
Yes! Give us a love. Let's go, Sophia. Whoa. Right up there. Not a trick, right? You know this? That's a magnet. Please check this for magnet, please. Show it to everybody that's a magnet. Is that a magnet?
Yep. Okay,
cool. We already know this is a magnet. Okay. So you got this, right? Put it right in your hands. Show it to everybody. Make it go like this. No, magicians. Okay, so we go like this. Make sure it goes. Oops. Good for you. It's all the presentation. Okay. Whoa, okay. Here's this pass. You're gonna take this. How strong are you? Have you been doing planks? Have you been doing push-ups?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna take this. Put this right here.
Maybe do the flybys?
Show it to everybody. So it's not a trick. I want you to take this piece, put it together. Just like that. Put it together. Put it together. Put it together. Put it together. Alright. Go like this. As hard as you could. As hard as you can. Boom. Is it together?
How does it go straight? Oh.
Is it together? Even though it's not straight, it's okay. Is it together?
Yes.
Okay, hold it, right? I'm gonna let go. Is it together?
Yeah.
Let go. Let go of this hand. Well, if it's together, then you can let go of this hand.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's together. Yeah. Let's do it right. Let's do it right. Okay? That's together, okay?
Alright.
So, let's go. I only got 2 more seconds. Jen, go. Let's go.
It's not together.
How do you know?
It's
let go?
pushing away.
It's pushing away. Okay, give her some love, please. This has to do, catch this. This is so important in your life. Each and every one of you, catch this. You gotta get this before we start. Each and every one of you in your life is like a magnet. There are things that you do which will attract people into your life, good people. And you'll have a life of love, a life of friendship, a life that you want to say, you know what, I live a good life, I have all these wonderful friendships. And each one of you, just like myself as included, is like a magnet. We push people away. You have to know when you are able to attract people, the right type of people, and you're going to have a great life. Not the perfect life, but a wonderful life. Filled with laughter and friendship. Deep friendship, meaningful friendships. And then there are those of us, if you're going to do 2 things I'm going to show, or 4 things I'm going to show you that you shouldn't do, you're going to be constantly pushing people away. No one wants to come close to you. And when you do that, it's going to be a lonely life. It's miserable. You'll be critical. And at the end of your life, you're going to say, wow, how come I didn't learn my lesson? Are you all cool? Get your pen. Nice and loud. That's a series. Read it with me in the program. All you need is love. I don't feel the love. I don't feel the love. Please read 1 John 4-7, 8, nice and loud. Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. Take the pen. Dear friends, let us love one another. Underline, love one another. For love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been 2 conditions. We talked about it. You're able to love because you're, number 1, underline, born of God. Everyone say born of God. Nice and loud. And the second condition is knows God. Everyone say knows God.
Knows God.
Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. So God is love. Let me have attention, please. You know, you come to church and you see this, and many of us say, no, I'm born of the Holy Spirit. I've received the Lord. I've accepted Christ. So we have that first condition. We're born of God. Then there's a second condition as we come to know who God is. We say, no, we have this experience with the Lord through His Word and through each other. We say, no, I know God now. I'm beginning to understand that God is so forgiving. I'm beginning to understand God is so compassionate. God is so good. I'm learning. But then, where's the love? And I don't feel the love. Are you guys hearing me?
Where's the love?
Where's the love? Where's the love? I don't feel it. I'll tell you why. It has to do with habits. It has to do with actions. You could be born of the Lord. You could know God. But if you have these 4 habits, 4, everyone say 4.
4.
4, yeah. If you have these 4 habits I'm going to show you from the Christ Word, you're going to be constantly, consistently, daily, every minute of the day, pushing people away. And not only are you pushing people away, I don't even want to be with you. You don't want to be with me when I do this. You don't want to be anywhere near me. Are you guys getting it? So you could be born of the Lord, you could start to know God, but our habits, our actions So we can say, no, I don't feel the love. Where's the love in my life? Well, it's not just about emotions. You can't feel something if you're doing the wrong thing. Are we getting that? So it has to do with our habits. Those habits have to go. Those habits have to die. Second to get that. 2 reasons why it's hard for people to get close to you. There's 4 applications, but there are 2 reasons why it's hard for people to get close to you. Please read Luke 6:41-42, nice and loud, read it with me. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when you yourself fail to see the plank in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eyes. Do you get that? It's a very short one. Why do you look at, circle look at? This is Jesus speaking to his disciples. Why do you look at, what is it that he's talking about? The speck of sawdust, underline speck of sawdust in your brother's eyes. Let me have your attention, please. You know, many times when you're with a friend or when you're with someone and then all of a sudden your friend start to tear a little and rub their eyes a little and start to get red. And your friend will say, oh, you see something in my eye, you see something in my eye. Have you guys ever done this, right? And then you look at your friend, I don't see anything. What is it? What is it? What is it, right? You always go there, what is that? But then your friend is actually tearing. It's like, oh, it happens to me, it happens to you. And you're like, what is it? What is it? What is it? And Christ is saying the same thing. He's using this, it's a great, great example. This is amazing what Christ shares with us. This is in the book of Luke. Find it today as I'm sharing with you. And what Christ is saying, why do you look at that speck of dust, sawdust? He's a carpenter, so they know about it. It's so fine that you can't even see with the naked eye until someone's actually tearing. Is it, why do we look at our friends as a little speck of sawdust? See, that's the first principle. One of the reasons why we're constantly pushing people away is we're critical. We're always looking. We're always pointing out certain things that they're doing wrong. So the first fill-in I have for you is very, very simple. Ask you a question. Do you nitpick on people? Do you nitpick on people? Please read Luke 6:37. This is what Christ says. So first he gives us an illustration, now he gives us the application. Please read Luke 6:37 nice and loud.
Do not
judge, and you will not be judged. Do you get that? Circle, do not judge. That's it. That's the first one right there. That's the first thing that we always do that we need to stop doing. If you start to judge, here's what judge is. We all make judgment, we all practice discernment. That's not what that is. Every single minute of our day, we're constantly being asked to make decisions. We're constantly asked to make judgment. Those are good things. This word judge has 2 meanings. One is very good. The opposite one is being critical, nitpicking, complaining, always looking for something. Are you guys getting me? That's what that word judge means. And here's what Christ said. You want to push people away? Stop judging. Just stop judging people. You can't do that. Stop nitpicking on people. Stop complaining on people. Are you guys getting it? So it's not just with your friends. This applies to your teams. This applies to your workplace. This applies to your relationships. This applies to all relationships between husband and wife. It applies to everything. It's having that little critical, negative spirit. Nitpicking. You have to be perfect. And no one can be perfect. And so it's hard for anyone to be around such a person. Because you're not perfect. We know it. And then if that person continuously pick out on you, how do you feel? Do you want to be near that person? No, you don't want to. It's negative. It drains all your energy. So you got to walk away from that. And you're constantly pushing people away. So if you find yourself nitpicking, complaining, that's what judgment is. Are we all cool? Are we all cool? How many of you feel like you do this? You do this? If you do this, you have to let go. Now watch this. Watch this. There's this relationship. It's called parent-child. I know many of you are not. But if you are in a relationship right now, and you have to be constantly a parent with your friend, and you're treating your friend like a child, that's the wrong thing. Do you find yourself, your best friend, do you find yourself that if you're married, if you find yourself that your boyfriend, girlfriend, you have to be a parent, you're nitpicking. Are you listening? You're not treating that person as equal. It's a parent-child syndrome. And you're constantly saying, this, and then you're constantly pushing that person away. So if you find yourself in the role of a parent-child relationship, and you shouldn't be, because you're not a parent, you're not a child in that relationship, something's off with that. That's the first thing. Stop nitpicking. Think about what you're doing. Number two. Let's go to number two. Do you punish people? Do you punish people? Please read Luke 6:37, nice and loud. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Get a pen. Do not condemn. Circle, do not condemn. And we start right there. So watch this, guys. So first we start nitpicking. You know what happens? It escalates. It never stops. It never just stops at nitpicking. After you start to nitpick, complain about this and that about that person, after a little while, you're going to start to blame that person. You're going to start to punish that person. What do you mean by that, Mr. Gang? What do you mean by punish that person? That person, after you nitpick a while, and if that person allows you to, you're going to get to a point that you're going to condemn that person. What does condemn mean? Very, very simple. You make a decision. To condemn someone is to say, you are guilty, you're wrong in this, and you'll always be wrong in my eye in this, and I'm going to punish you for that. That's what condemn means. To condemn someone is you're the judge and you're the jury. You said, that's wrong. And that's it. And you'll never be right in my eyes. You will never be right in my eyes. That's what condemn means. And you're totally off from that. You know what condemn is? It's very, very simple. We see it every day. You know, there was this guy who was going to this restaurant, the steak restaurant up in the Midwest. He's African American. His name is McHenry. And it's one of his favorite steak places. He would just go there, get a steak, leave, get a steak, leave. One of his best joints. He enjoys it. But here's what he noticed. He started to notice that the service was a little rough. It's a white staff. And he started to feel like, I'm not sure I'm in the right place, but I like my steak. It tastes really good. It's good value. So he goes there. And then one time, you start to see it in his receipt, he charges. They actually put down the N-word. Because his last name is McHenry. He goes, McHenry N-word. McStinky N-word. All that stuff. That is crazy. But it's not just to the African Americans, it's also to Asians as well too. Do you know that in certain drive-thrus, in some of these fast food places, there are people that are actually starting to wear C word, chink, chong, all that other stuff, all that crazy stuff on your receipts. So after you get your stuff from, let's say, I don't want to name restaurants, but after you get that in the drive-thru, you actually see it. People are doing that. And why? Why did we do that? Because there's this sense of like, here's a certain people, totally off because of color. And you hate that group of people. You just condemn a whole group of people. Are you guys getting it? Racism. It's prevalent. It's all around. It's everywhere. There's also, it happens within the church as well too. There's another way. I couldn't believe this. This woman, she's lesbian. And her mother passed away. Her mother's 85 years old. And they're Catholic. So the woman is trying to bury the mother, and in the Catholic ritual, they have to perform communion. So the priest was holding communion for this woman, for the mother, and the woman comes up, the daughter, and she's a lesbian. She's burying her mother in the church. And everyone partakes in communion if you're Catholic. So when the daughter comes up to take communion, here's what the priest did. The priest did not offer it. Could you imagine you're at your mother's funeral, you're grieving, and the priest denies you communion in front of everyone? She couldn't believe it. She was right there ready to partake in communion in her mother's funeral. And the priest withheld it, and the priest told her, go away. And then the priest continues with the reception, with the funeral. That's what condemnation is. And here's what Christ said. I couldn't believe it. We're nitpicking. Stop judging. Stop condemning people. Stop punishing people. Stop blaming people. Do you have that in your heart for a group of people? We all do. When you really seriously think about it. Are you uncomfortable with certain people because of their color? Because of the type of food they eat? Maybe because of their sexual orientation? Have you taken a whole group of people and just said, no, wrong, bad people? That's condemnation. Think it through. We are pushing a whole group of people away, all because of something that we're so afraid of. So what are we to do? Be a pet. Here's another one. 2 Christ-like habits make it easier for people to know you. 2 Christ-like habits make it easier for people to know you. If you don't feel the love, I want to give you 2 reasons. Please read Luke 6:39-40 nice and loud. He also told them this parable. Can a blind man lead a blind man? Would they not both fall into a pit? A student is not above his teacher, but everyone who is fully trained will be like his teacher. Take your pen. This is Jesus speaking again. It's in the same chapter. Jesus goes, he also told them this parable, underline parable. Tell them a nice story, a very powerful story. He goes, can a blind man lead a blind man? Obviously, no. Would they not both fall into a pit? Yes, they will both fall into a pit. A student is not above his teacher, but everyone who is fully trained, this is cool, this is really, really cool, but everyone who is fully trained, circle fully trained, will be like his teacher. Underline will be like his teacher. Let me have attention. I know you've been trained ever since you were young. When you come out from your mother's womb, your mom and dad have been praying for you, singing songs to you, and when she's able to speak even a word, you're starting the ABC, you're already starting 1, 2, 3. You've been trained to read. You go to school, 10, 12, 15, 20 years for some of us. Graduate schools, right? You've been trained. Reading, math. It's so, so important. You've been trained. You do drills for your sports team. You've been trained. So I'm going to ask you guys a very, very simple question. Who trained you? Who trained you to love people? How to love people? Who trains you so that you could not just push people away and attract people into your life? Who has trained you to do that? Which school did you go to for that? How much time did you put in? Is it just a book? And if there's a book, that's great. What's the authority of that book? And here's what Jesus said. The blind will continue to lead the blind. We're going to go nowhere. And Jesus makes this really, really cool statement. He goes, you know what? But when you're fully trained, you'll be just like the master. Jesus is teaching us, you know what? We have to train ourselves. We have to watch our habits. And when you have the right habits, when you're fully disciplined and trained, you'll be like Jesus. That's so, so amazing. When you really think about this, catch this, guys. Jesus is really, really cool. He is so, so cool. Why he's so cool? To get back, catch this. Please read Luke 6:37, nice and loud. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Circle forgive. And here's my question to you. Can you give people some breaks? Can you give people some breaks? Let me have attention, please. Quick question. How many of you are easily offended? Raise your hand. How many of you are easily offended? Keep your hands up. That's cool. Oh, I think it's really cool if you know who you are. When you're so easily offended, keep your hands up. My hands is up. I just want to know who's easily offended. Seriously. I want to know. Because we're cool. Okay, I'm cool. Now the rest of you are what? It takes a lot for you to get offended. Yeah, right? Hogwash. All of you that sit there with your hands up, I don't think so. No way. I'm going to prove it to you. Who drives? Well, some of you drive. I see, I'm sitting in people's cars. It's so simple. It's so simple. I'm driving, sitting there like, I'm not easily offended. Yeah, and then someone just walks out like, I'm like, get out of here. Really? I couldn't believe it. Of course we're easily offended. All of us. If you're not easily offended, what if one of your best friends says something about your shoes? Oh, get out of here. That's my LeBron shoe. I can't go there. Why am I so talking about like Kobe? Hey, that's my man. No way. Trash talk everything else. We are so easily offended. How about I say something about your weight? You can't go there. You can't go there. No, my weight. How about your haircut? Oh, chill. No, just, come on, let's just be real. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. You gotta know yourself. We're talking about how come I don't feel the love. You know why people cannot come close to you? Because you're easily offended. And I love the people that just raise their hands. That says, I'm easily offended. Because you know yourself. You know what ticks you off. And since you're honest with yourself, catch this now. Since you're honest with yourself, you're going to go like this. I know I'm easily offended. I don't want to be easily offended. But for those of us who think, I'm not easily offended, give me 5 minutes, 2 minutes. If you even dare come up here, give me 2 minutes, I'll offend you so fast. You'll be like, wow. How can the finish of people even say that to me? I'm so serious. Think about it. Think about it. You know, I make it a point, watch this. When I attend our Chinese service in the morning prior to this, I make it a point as a minister to shake each and everyone's hand. I learned many years ago from a wise pastor. He says to me, make sure you acknowledge each person in your congregation. Be they friends, be they longtime friends, be they a visitor. Watch this. Because he learned the hard way. People would say, you didn't shake my hand today. People would say, you didn't acknowledge me today. And they would not say that to him. They would hold a grudge against him. I mean, in a congregation of 60, 70, 80 people in the morning, it's hard. You don't get a chance to say hello to everybody. And he found out in the hard way. Wow. People are easily offended. How come you say hello to everybody except me? Are you guys getting it? Seriously, you would feel it too. If you're in a room, everyone else is acknowledged. It's just a simple fact as that. That's the third thing. Are you easily offended? I hope you put down yes. Because there's a part of you that's easily offended. Not everything, but there's a part of you that's easily offended. And that's what Jesus says, forgive. Forgive, and you'll be forgiven. That's how you get the third one. Here's the action. You know how you draw people into your life? Forgive. Learn to forgive. Can you forgive graciously? Do you know how to forgive graciously? That's the part. And that's what Jesus is saying. You want to push people away? It's so simple. Hold a grudge. Who holds a grudge here? Raise your hand. Who is still holding a grudge here today? Who is still holding a grudge? No, seriously. My hand is up. I still hold a grudge. There are certain people I just want to be so real with you. There are certain people in my heart that I'm so hardened. Because I've been hurt, let's just say, right? Not just easily offended, but there's a part of you that's so hardened because someone has done so much to you. And you can't let that go yet. And here's what Jesus says. You're pushing them away, you have to give them a chance to forgive. Now, how many times you have to forgive? Jesus says 7 times 70 in certain translations. That's how much? 7 times 70. Quick, go. Huh? 490. Okay. Come on, man. You guys are SAT students, right? 490. Sometimes 490 times. How many of us are counting 1, 2, I forgive you, Steve. 3, I forgive you, Steve. 4. He's already offended. 5, 6, 7. No, here's what Jesus said. Jesus goes like this. Stop counting. 490 is too many for you to count. It's a spirit of forgiveness, graciously, continuously, daily. Watch this. Your friends, catch this now, your friends will find you to be a very, very safe person when they know that they don't have to be perfect. Your friends will come to you. Your friends will be attracted to you when you're less easily offended and more forgiving. Because they know that they could be real with you. They know that they're not perfect. And you know you're not perfect. And when you know you're not perfect, and when you accept that they're not perfect, there's a chance that you come together in relationships. It's not just about one person. This is about a spirit of being able to graciously forgive others. It's not just about one relationship. It's about all relationships. Last one, take a pen. Please read Luke 6:38, nice and loud. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. But with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Okay, take the pen. Give. Circle that, please. Everyone say give. Give. And it will be given to you. Underline, it will be given to you. Wow, this is cool. Now watch this. Jesus is so cool. He goes like this. He goes, a good measure. Underline good measure. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap. Underline poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Let me have attention, please. You want to push people away? It's very, very simple. Watch this. Just like that man, you want to push people away? You're only looking out for yourself. You're only looking out for yourself. This happens in team dynamics. For those of you who are trying out to be a warriors in volleyball or in basketball, if you're only looking for yourself right now, you're not going to go very far. Seriously. Because your teammates will not trust you. Your teammates will know that you're only looking out for yourself. What's in it for you? When you only look at what's in it for you in a relationship, you're going to push people away. And your friends and people that want to know you are very, very smart. They pick on everything that you do. They're very observant. Why are they observant? Because they see that little speck in your eyes. Okay? Remember that. They're looking at you. We have that tendency to look at each other. You're being scrutinized or almost like a microscope. And every selfish little act that you do, they're picking up on that. So I ask you guys a very, very simple question. You don't push people away, it's very, very simple. Just look out for yourself. If I know that you're only looking out for yourself in my relationship with you, I know you're not safe. I know this is only about you. And I will not want to come near you. You guys understand me? Same thing with me as well too. If you're a minister, if I only look out for myself in my relationship with each and every one of you, and it's only about what's in it for me, you don't want to know me. Because every time you come to know me, it's almost like, it's just about you. It's about you. Which is what you can get from this. And if you have that mentality, what you can get from this relationship, you're pushing people away already. Are you guys hearing me? So here's what Jesus says. Give. Give. Share. That's the word you're going to fill in. Share generously. When you start to share generously, you'll be able to attract people into your life. Are we all cool? Let me finish with this story. You know, there's a time, I remember with a friend, we were growing up together. A whole bunch of us. We would go out for dinner. Just like you guys would go out for dinner as well too. I'm not going to name names, I know it's on video, right? And this person, good friend. We played ball together, we did a lot of things together. Every time we have dinner, and we're all coming in for dinner, then we're getting ready to pay. You pay for whatever you eat, right? And my friend always, I don't have enough. Always, time and time again, a $5 meal, he's like, I got 2. Come on, like, really? You got 2? Okay, 3. That's about it. It's always about like, I'm not ready to share. I can't even go above, and he's taking more and more and more. And then after a while, here's what we notice. Every time we go to dinner, like, let's maybe not even ask him to come along because we know we have to pay for him. Now watch this. We should share. We should share. But this guy was outrageous because he had the latest sneakers. He had the latest gadgets. He was into everything, so he always had the best of whatever gadgets. So the same thing with you guys. So watch this. If you go to eat with your friends, and you tell, hey, I don't have this, I don't have nothing of this, and then you're wearing the latest sneakers, you got the latest iPhone 4S, here's my iPad 3 coming up? I'm like, come on, really? Really? Are you guys hearing me? So here's what Jesus is saying. The same amount that you give, it will be returned to you in your relationships. The same amount. The same amount. Whatever you give, God is very fair. You get back. That's what he said. Whatever you give in a relationship, you will get back what you invest in. I'm so serious. So here's what Jesus said. Give generously. Share your life generously. And here's the illustration. This is so cool. He goes, he's like using the flour. He goes, press down when you give someone. Shake it up. Make sure it's a full container. You know, when you take flour, you pour into containers, you give it. He said, no. Make sure you fill it up, press it down, fill up some more until it overflows. And he goes like this. When you share your life, when you start to share your life with everyone so generously, more will come back to you. That's the amazing part of it. So I ask you guys a very, very simple question. How do you share? How do you share your life? I'm not talking about just money now. I'm going to just ask you a very, very simple question. How do you share? You know, there's this priest in World War II, seriously speaking, true story. He was asked, he said, you could volunteer. There's a bunch of people here that have all these diseases. He was in a concentration camp. He said, you could help them if you want to, but you don't have to help them. And you know what the priest did? He went to help these people who had all these illnesses and diseases. You know what this priest did when he helped these people? He caught the disease, the same disease, and he died in that concentration camp helping. And prior to his death, he wrote, that was one of the best times of his life. In the concentration camp, he was a prisoner, and he was able to give his life to these people. And he was so happy. He was amazingly happy. See, for many of us, if we were sitting in a concentration camp right now, we'd be like, oh, this is crazy. I can't deal with it. But even sitting in a concentration camp, this priest found this meaning. That my meaning, my success, my happiness in the relationship is to give myself totally to other people. And in that giving of himself, in that concentration camp, he found true happiness, he found true love. That's amazing. Now, I'm not asking you to give your life to something like that. But here's what I'm going to ask you to do this week. Very, very simple. I was coming to church this morning. There was this woman coming directly at me. I'm walking right down Division Street, and I recognized her. And she's a waiter. She's a waitress in a restaurant in Chinatown. In one of these dim sum houses. Not dim sum, dumpling houses. I thought, that's my waitress. And she recognized me as well too. Oh, one of my customers. And we're just walking. We didn't stop, we just continued. And we paused for a moment. Catch this. She said, hello, good morning. I said, hello, good morning to you too. And we just continued walking. Can you share? Can you share that in your world? It's not just about money. It's not about I'm asking you to take your life and give it up to some great cause. And if it is, great, fantastic. That's so noble, that's so cool. But how about we start with small things? You want to attract people into your life? So simple, smile. That's all you need to do. You want to attract people into your life, just smile. Have a good word and say thank you. That's a great start. That's the beginning. You want to push people away? Just be like all New Yorkers. Don't come near me. Don't come near me. People will stay away. You want to attract people in your life within your own circle? You want to make sure that your mom and your dad and you are having a great relationship, and you want to start that? How about giving a smile to your mom? How about giving a smile to your dad? Just start with that first. As hard as that is. And that's part of giving yourself. Start with your best friends. Start with your friends right here. Start with our congregations right here. It's not just about money when you share. It's really about sharing your life. Let us pray.